Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Well, good afternoon, good evening, good night, wherever you are. Thank you so much for joining in. We greatly appreciate you. I am Reverend Sean Robert Grant, here and happy and excited to bring you another amazing episode of the Heart of Christ Ministry. And so, with that being said, right, um, let's get into a few things here. So, we're focusing on the the 40-day prosperity plan by John Robert Price. So if you hadn't seen that first video that we did, it's up on my YouTube. You can find it on my LinkedIn. It's all over the place. If you have trouble finding it, I'm more than happy to send it to you. We really got into discussing day one, and there we go, just checking some levels, and it was quite fantastic with everything that was transpiring with that, and just the depth of everything we were able to dive into to just expunge on the truth of why we limit ourselves when it comes to abundance. So before I get into that, let's get into some business here, guys. If you have any questions, first and foremost, please write to us at seang04@gmail.com. Any type of correspondence, any type of feedback, anything. Let's just say you want me to discuss a certain topic and you feel like this topic is near and dear to your heart. And so I am more than open, more than happy to dive into that truth and have you be in a position to where we can really figure out what divine wisdom is out there to help you along your path. So anything like that, anything of any sort, please write to us at seang04@gmail.com, and we will get back to you as soon as we can. And if you feel like this message or the messages of the past over the last few years, we've been doing this at Heart of Christ Ministry, if you feel like they benefit you, by all means, please donate, and only donate if you're moved to by a space of love, okay? Because that's all that counts. You can do it at Venmo, Heart of Christ Ministry, at Heart of Christ Ministry, PayPal, SeanG04@gmail.com, and then ZELLE is the exact same as Venmo, Heart of Christ Ministry. And if you decide to do that, and a lot of you have, so thank you in advance. We very greatly appreciate you. We will give you the Endless Prosperity Pack, which is basically just 0 to financial freedom. 5 selected videos by yours truly that will help you to honestly just come alive in your prosperity and help you to rise up and be the very best that you can be and live the very best life that you can, because the resources are there internally first and then mirroring themselves on the outside. And that's a big thing we got going today that we want to share with you. But before I jump the gun, just remember, you will get that with any gift that you offer today. Okay. So let's rock and roll, right? Here we are. And I'm going to get in today's message here. There we go. Heart of Christ Ministry 2024, using the 40-day prosperity plan to bust through limitation with money and abundance. Day 2, ladies and gentlemen, we're rocking and rolling. And so day 1 was about really acclimating to the idea and the truth of who the divine is, right? And what the divine is, and as that relates to us, right? And the thing that first comes up is I and my Father are one. All that the Father hath is mine. I am God and God is me. Those two are intertwined. There is no separation. And one of the biggest areas that we have, or one of the biggest problems we have a lot of times when it comes to not just producing money, but producing, profitable, fruitful relationships and health and all these things, is that somewhere in our psyche, in our consciousness, we are separated from the essence of God. We are separated, right, from the God within us. And all that does is just, you got to get back to love and get back to alignment, and that will heal that instantly. It will, it's amazing how transformative love is and what love can do to help you in that regard. Okay. So That's kind of in a nutshell. Once again, if you hadn't watched that video, get back and watch that video. It's amazing. Let's get into what we got today, starting right off day 2. So just to give you some backstory real quick, there are 10 days, 10 true statements, 10 affirmations that you wind up doing every day, right? For 40 days straight. And then, once you get to 10, you start back up to 1 and you just repeat these. And so you have the option to repeat them over and over and over, or you can repeat it for a bit and then meditate on it. What I've done is I'll play it in my ears as I sleep, and that will basically allow it to get into my subconscious mind when I am, when my conscious mind has gone, the watchman, so to speak, as we call it, has gone to sleep. Okay. So that's what I've done. But here's the thing. There is no limitation on how you can do this and how you can practice this creative, life transforming divine method. The fact of the matter is, as long as you do it, that's what counts. And once you do it, you're going to see the difference, and things are going to change from the inside out, not necessarily just financially from an abundance standpoint, but in every capacity. You'll find you'll start making headway in a lot of different areas. And it's just fun. It's just fun to watch that unfold the way that it does. Okay. So let's rock and roll. Number 2, I lift up my mind and heart to be aware, to understand, and to know that the divine presence I am is the source and substance of all my good. Okay, I'm going to repeat that one more time. I lift up my mind and heart to be aware, to understand, and to know that the divine presence I am is the source and substance of all my good. Okay, now, when I look at that, in the first sentence I see, it says, I lift up my mind and heart to be aware, right? So we talked about in the past, you can't have something in your life. You can't have something manifest into your life unless you are able to come into the awareness of it, right? And so how do we get awareness? Well, we seek within, right? Because everything has been placed within us. The idea of how to be rich, wealthy, prosperous, successful, dynamic, charming, charismatic, creative, all these things, it's within you. So the only thing you have to access is awareness, right? You have to access the awareness of how to be those things. And the number one way we do that is not outside of us, but inside of us, right? As soon as we go within, what's going to happen is we're going to find ourselves discovering a greater awareness. And this is what this is about, right? So I lift up my mind and heart to be aware, to understand, to comprehend, to receive down into the subconscious. Because once we do that, then we know we've got it, right? You can always know if somebody understands a topic, right? If it seems effortless. That's the base of understanding, is the ability to be effortless in the practice of it, in the teaching of it, and in the acceptance of it. Plain and simple, right? And then it goes into to know that the divine presence I am, right? To be aware, to understand, and to know that the divine presence I am is the source and substance of all my good, right? So it doesn't say the divine presence that you are. It doesn't say the divine presence that someone else is, right? It doesn't say that. It says the divine presence that I am. And I am is just another translation for God in me, the essence of the divine within myself, right? So when I lift up my mind, my heart, to be aware, to understand, and to know that the divine presence I am, that's telling us we have within us the wisdom, the knowledge, the insight, the understanding to be infinitely abundant, but we have to discover it within ourselves. Until we can discover it within ourselves, we're not going to figure it out. We're going to operate on the same consciousness, on the same vibration, on the same level of frequency that keeps us running into that cycle. Only until we decide, right? And this statement just sums it up, that we are the divine presence within ourselves. Are we going to find ourselves in a situation? Okay. Then this just makes me excited. Only when we discover that we are the divine presence, that the divine presence I am. Notice I said I am God and God is me. That's exactly what I'm talking about. You have the power. You have the ability. You have the knowledge. You have the insight. You have the understanding to rise above any lack, limitation, struggle, hardship, right? You have a divine vision, a divine blueprint within you that is an intelligence that operates automatically when we let go of the conditioning to help you to rise to abundance instantly. Not instantly, but easily and effortlessly, right? It doesn't have to be difficult. It's conditioning, right? It's faulty, misled, misinterpreted beliefs that causes us to stumble when it comes to our true divine essence of abundance. You see what I'm saying? So when I get to the place of really understanding what that means, and I said this on the last recording, the presence of I am is omnipotent, all powerful, omniscient, all knowing, omnipresent, all present. So that in itself tells us there can be no lack anywhere within that I am presence, right? It is omnipotent. I'll say that again, all powerful, omnipresent, all present, omniscient, all knowing. There is no lack. If there is lack, it's because we've what? We've separated ourselves from God, from the I am within us, and decided that something has to be difficult, that something has to be hard. Now, this never happens consciously, right? It never happens consciously. This happens unconsciously as we're growing up, as we're fed ideas that aren't of the highest vibrational nature. This is what winds up happening. And this is why we often struggle. This is why we feel that there is this illusion that lack actually exists or can exist in an infinitely abundant universe that's in each and every one of us. The universe lies within. What you see without is only a reflection of what truly lies within. Think about that. It's only a reflection of what truly lies within. So if I have the entire infinite presence, infinite divine presence, unlimited, dynamic, wonderful being, whatever, if I am all that and that is inside of me, what am I lacking? Right? What on earth am I lacking? Nothing, unless I decide to forget who and what I am, the divine presence that I am, right? And to look at the bottom of this true statement, we see the divine presence I am is the source and substance. I'm going to share with you what source and substance is. Source is basically the power circuit, right? It's the electricity that charges everything in your house, that allows it to light up and function properly. That's what source, that's what I am is to us, to every single thing in creation, animals, whatever it is. That's what I am is. The source of something is the central area of power. That's what you have within. So you're already equipped, right? The source is there waiting for you to what? To plug in. And once you plug in, boom, you become aware of substance. And substance, I love the idea of substance because substance is such a beautiful thing because it's everywhere. It's basically energy that can be maneuvered, shaped, and formed to your choosing, but you have to choose through your consciousness, right? So when your consciousness has something, and when I say that a lot, but all I mean is when an idea has been impregnated and implanted into your subconscious mind and you receive it and you understand it and you can teach it, you have ease with it. The number one indication that you have something in your subconscious mind completely is the level of ease you have with it. It's like watching athletes. Athletes effortlessly make these tough shots, but it's because the idea of being able to make that tough shot has sunk into the subconscious mind. And this is not just with athletics, this is with a lot of different things, right? But that's the number one um, indication that something has been rooted into the subconscious mind. Okay. Ease and effortlessness. All right. So, substance, energy, it's moving that energy to serve you, moving that energy to allow you to see whatever it is that you are believing for within yourself, right? And it all starts within. You see, the one thing that really made me passionate about doing this was we live in a society where we treat the outside, right? We treat everything on the outside, but we don't treat the energy, the substance in a sense. And when I say treat, I mean go within, understand what it's doing, understand what it needs. Now, because God is so simple, right, and easy to understand, the only thing that you need to reverse anything that's not thriving on a high vibrational level is love. Love reverses absolutely everything. If there is dissonant, right, conflicting energy within anywhere in your life, you insert love into the equation, and I mean just deep-hearted, compassionate, divine love. It will transmute that situation, sometimes instantly. I've seen my body heal after taking 1 hour and reciting affirmations based on divine love. Now, uh, that's a whole nother episode, but we'll definitely get into that soon. But all I'm saying is that substance is there. The source is ready to move that substance in any way, shape, or form that it desires, that you desire it to, right? But it's understanding that it moves at its greatest point in love, through love. So I'm going to read it again, and then we're going to translate what we're really getting to with this point. And don't get me wrong, I'm giving you my interpretation, and I've done this a multitude of times, but I want you to really check in to see what it is that your heart is telling you as it relates to this. Okay? So let's read it all together. I lift up my mind and heart to be aware, to understand, and to know that the divine presence I am is the source and substance of all my good. Okay. So I'm lifting up my mind and heart. What do I need to do to do that? Lift up my mind and heart to be aware. Easy. Meditation. Go within yourself. If anything ever gets hard, go within and meditate. Meditate will create understanding and will create knowing, which is the second part of that statement, right? And then what happens when you meditate is you connect to the very divine presence. I am. You are. I am. We all are, right? God, it's in us, period. You connect to that, right? And if it's hard, remember that subconscious mind, when an idea is accepted, it's easy and effortless in nature. When it's hard to accept, it means there's some resistance. We clear out that resistance, we begin to move closer. But not even move closer, but we mend the breaks, we mend the separation to the divine presence of I am that is within us. It comes together, and then this is when everything all of a sudden, I'm going to just tell you from experience what happens when you make this shift. Okay. You make this shift, and then everything that once had power from the outside falls away. Like it's hold over you falls away, right? I had an obsession with money, an obsession. And when I shifted to understand that the divine presence that I am within me was my source, was my supply, was my infinite supply for everything, grace included, which was most important than anything else, the stronghold that success had on me fell away, right? The need for approval fell away. The idea that I was doing something to get somewhere, to be something, had fell away completely. It fell away. It dissolved. Why? Because I was finally rooted in the truth. And this is what the entire purpose of this prosperity plan is. I was finally rooted in the truth. And I was subconsciously accepting that it all is being created from the inside out. And the inside, the I am, is creating everything through my direction and my intention within myself. And then it is reflecting on the outside to me. So whatever I see, I can see if I'm in alignment or out of alignment. If I'm sitting here teaching you about abundance and I can't express abundance, you know what? Something's happening on the inside of me that I need to resolve and transmute with love, with continued intense self-love, right? But once I realized that, everything fell away. And then it began to unfold with ease. The things I cared about, I don't really care about anymore. Why? Because it was just distractions. It was distractions outside of me that were only indicating that I was lacking love. You see, the interesting thing about money is, and I wrote an article, I think you should check it out on Medium. It's called "You Are More Valuable Than Money Because You're an Expression of Love." The interesting thing about money is we can be led to believe that money can solve all our problems. Now, it can solve a bunch of problems, right? It can cause you an opportunity to do a lot of the different things that you want. But until we deal with what's within, until we mend that separation to God, those problems will persist. And the same problems you had with $500, you will have those exact same problems with $5 million. It'll just be a different form of expression, right? So money doesn't change anything. It doesn't solve anything. That's on us to do that by connecting to that divine presence. And then once again, once we connect to the divine presence, the I amness, that awareness, all the outside stuff loses its power. And we know from there, we know the truth. The truth is tapping into the most authentic version of ourselves, being sincere in that expression. Because from there, prosperity, love, joy, excitement, success, it's all effortless. You're just stepping into your power, stepping into your divine blueprint, stepping into the fullness that the God in you has created you for. It becomes easy at that point. Okay? It becomes easy. So this statement, summing up, is basically telling you in order to shift your energy to a place of prosperity, to a place of abundance, you've got to be aware of the divine presence within you, and you've got to set intentions to allow that divine presence to shape. Well, one, to empower. That's what the source is. Empower, give power to, right? And then shape that substance, that energy for your good. It's simple, but it's sometimes challenging because once again, the old stuff can get in the way, right? It's just like having a dirty cup of water and having the clean cup and pouring all the clean water into the dirty cup. Well, guess what? You're going to have some clean water, but you're still going to have some of that dirty stuff until it's all cleared out. And then once it's cleared out, what can happen is that the consciousness is clean, and then we can begin to accept the truth of what is. And that truth is you were made to be prosperous. You're made to be infinitely abundant. You're made to express wealth in all of its forms, not just money. And you were made to live happily, right? In whatever it is that you choose. And that starts with the connection, right? Starts with the connection, mending the separation to the I am presence within you. From there, everything falls into place. All right. That was a terrific message. Let's wrap this up, guys. Okay, once again, if you have any questions, any comments, any feedback, any correspondence, please, by all means, write to us, SeanG04@gmail.com. If this message has benefited you, or a message has benefited you in the past, and you want to donate to our ministry, please, by all means, we accept it. Thank you. You can donate at Venmo at Heart of Christ Ministry, PayPal, SeanG04@gmail.com. Zelle is the same as Venmo. Zelle is the same as PayPal, not Venmo. Okay, SeanG04@gmail.com. It's actually in the description. You can see. And with those gifts, you will receive an endless prosperity pack. Once again, 0 to financial freedom in a matter of moments, 5 hand-selected videos by yours truly to help you to build a consciousness that allows you to be financially free, which means financially unattached, financially loose from change, not worrying about money, but living your very best life. You will get that with any size gift you give today. Yes. And that, ladies and gentlemen, wraps up our message. Thank you so much for joining us. We will be back here soon with day 3. And I'm just going to tell you in advance, these true statements, they get better and better and better. And you're just going to love it. You're going to love it on the highest possible level. And so I'm excited about it. But by all means, if you know somebody who can benefit from this video, please share it with them. Don't hesitate to. And we will see you soon. Reverend Sean Robert Grant signing off. Have a wonderful day. Take care.